time? Okay. Okay, welcome to our full meeting, Putnam County Legislature, in September 2015. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Legislator Castellano, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, we pray once again that our decisions are the best decisions for our constituents. Thank you. Roll call.
District 1, Legislator Suchamara. District 2, Legislator Goldman.
Present.
District 3, Legislator Avenizio. Present. District 4, Legislator Massimino.
Present.
District 6, Legislator Gross.
Present.
District 7, Legislator Castellano.
Present.
District 8, Legislator Ledoux. District 9, Legislator Wright.
Here.
District 5, Chairman Alvano.
Here. Tonight are proclamations. The first one was recognition of Father Sorgi, Anthony Sorgi. He's the pastor for St. James Apostle Church. He couldn't be here tonight because he's on his new assignment down in Westchester. They did honor him at the town of Carmel. Interestingly enough, he joined St. James right around when 9/11 occurred. That's when he started, so he had a rough week coming in. But the man did a lot of work for St. James, the buildings, just a great pastor, great community leader, and he's now down in Westchester. So we're going to be sending him this proclamation. He's hard at work tonight down in Westchester. Our second proclamation is National Recovery Month, and Legislator Gross.
Could you introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Kristen McConnell. I'm the director of NCADD, which is National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence in Putnam. We're right here in Carmel.
Joe DeMarzo, Deputy Commissioner, Mental Health, Social Services in the Youth Bureau.
Thanks for being here tonight. National Recovery Month is September 2015, which is just beginning today, and it's kind of serious. We think of all the things that have happened in this country with police officers being shot and all these sort of things, and so much of it is traced back to mental instability, and we know that Putnam County Jail has a large percentage of folks that need mental help. Undersheriff has pointed that out many times. This is a very serious issue, and I wanted to read this proclamation very carefully. Whereas preventing and overcoming mental and/or substance use disorders is essential to achieving healthy lifestyles, both physically and emotionally. And we must encourage relatives and friends of people with mental and substance abuse disorders to implement preventive measures, recognize the signs of the problem, and guide those in need to appropriate treatment and recovery support services. And it points out in this proclamation that in 2013, 2.5 million people aged 12 and older received substance abuse treatment at specialty facilities, and adults age 18 and over received mental health services to the tune of more than 34 million people. So it's a large and growing issue. Whereas to help more people achieve and sustain long-term recovery, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, and the National Council of Alcoholism and Other Drug Dependence /Putnam invite all residents of Putnam County to participate in the National Recovery Month. Now therefore be it resolved, the Putnam County Executive and the Putnam County Legislature do hereby proclaim the month of September as National Recovery Month, and signed by Mary Ellen Odell, County Executive, and Carl L. Brown, the Chairman of the Legislature. And Christian and Joe, would you like to say something?
Sure.
I'll give this to you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Roger, and thank you to the legislature. Normally you hear Joe and I talking about prevention, which is really important because we know that prevention works, we know that treatment is effective, but we also know that recovery is possible, and there's a lot of people in this community and across the country in recovery from mental health and substance abuse disorders. So it's really important that we acknowledge September as National Recovery Month.
Yeah. And just to add to that, Roger, I think that the greatest investment anyone could make is in themselves, and if recovery is the way to go, it's a great investment. And we have great providers in Putnam County. We work great with our district attorney, with our sheriff's office. We have great partnerships, and I think that, as Kristen had said, the education and awareness is the first step to recovery.
Thank you. I was thinking the treatment court and also what the sheriff's department does with counseling in the jail are other areas that are certainly contributing to that help you're talking about.
Great.
Thanks very much for being
Thank
here
you.
on this serious
Thank
topic,
you.
Kristen.
Thanks so much.
Good luck. You're
Thank you.
expecting. Okay.
Thank you.
Joe?
Thanks.
Steve?
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, number 4, approval of the minutes of our regular meeting, August 4th, 2015. So moved. Correspondence, county auditor, there's no activity reported during this period. Okay, rules and enactments and intergovernmental relations committee, Chairwoman Adizio.
On behalf of legislators Goulman and Scutramar, I would like to move the following local law forward, which is to revise Section 1220 of the Putnam County Charter entitled Bureau of Emergency Services Commissioner, stating that there shall be a Bureau of Emergency Services under the direction of a Commissioner of the Bureau of Emergency Services who shall be appointed by the county executive. Such appointment shall be subject to a vote of 2/3 confirmation of the county legislature. The change that is made to the charter is Section 1220, and it states the following: he or she shall be removed by the county executive, subject to a vote of 2/3 concurrence of the county legislature. We are striking that sentence from the charter, and the removal of commissioner requiring the 2/3 vote of county legislatures will no longer be included in the charter.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
6B is the approval of the county executive to enter into an intermunicipal agreement. As discussed, it is a pilot program of a shared email server with the town of Kent.
Discussion? All in favor?
Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
The resolution and the underlying agreement seeks legislative approval for the program to be entered into, but as we're all aware, this program was approved and entered into our personnel were utilized to make the interface between the two agencies, and so just I will vote no, because I think it's wrong for us to be asked to put our names to a document approving county action after the action has already taken place. It does not in any way represent a legislative initiative or a legislative understanding of what is proposed before it is a fait accompli. So it won't have my vote. I don't disagree that intermunicipal service sharing is a worthwhile goal, but I think that's a perfect example of putting the cart before the horse. And I'm offended that we're asked to. Why do we have to approve it at all? It's up and it's running, and it's been running for a couple of months now, and you know, if it wasn't important to bring it to us in its formative stages, why are we asked to put our name to it right now? I fail to see why our name should go on it, and my name won't, but thank you.
Through the chair.
Yes.
This was discussed at length with Tom Lennon at the last rules meeting, and it's wants to be going forward because it will provide maximum service for the least possible cost for shared services.
I said I agree with the goals, but it's up, it's running. It was in place before the I don't know if I brought it to the legislature's attention or someone else who sits on fiscal vision. It could have been Barbara Scutramar, but that was the first place that the legislature heard about it. And it was it was a fait accompli back then, and that has to be at least 4.5 months ago. So all of this window dressing before the legislature and explanation by our IT director is just that, it's window dressing. So in substance, great idea, but when county personnel are being put to a task that takes them from their other appointed duties, no matter how good the end result is, that's the function of the legislature to say, okay, we're prepared to go down that road if Director Lannon says it's feasible, it won't be a burden on his agency, and it may serve as a point of access for other municipalities. And I would encourage other municipalities to participate. But for the county to enter into the entire franchise without any legislative input and then present it to the legislature after the fact and say, but we need your approval to sign this agreement, that's why it won't have my support. Not that I don't believe it's cost effective, not that I don't believe it's a good thing. I believe in all of those things, but I also believe in the efficacy of this body. And they're not 4 months too late. They're probably 8 months too late, because when it was in its formative stages, the concept should have been brought to the legislature. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Legislator Nasrullah.
I believe, if my memory serves me correct, this was brought forth in fiscal vision, and it was an initiative that was being explored. It was sort of a test run and a pilot program. I think they began the initiative and to see if it was feasible, and it turned out that it was, and then proceeded to solidify it with the agreement. So I think perhaps that's how it unfolded, to see if that was the direction that they could go in or wanted to go in from both the municipality and the county.
But fiscal vision is not an appropriate forum for legislative concurrence.
No, but the initiative
And B,
was discussed.
I was at the meeting.
Right.
And it was in existence when it was brought up at fiscal vision. It wasn't, a twinkle in someone's eye. It was there. It was working. They had it all worked out. It's a
I respect
question
your
of
opinion,
procedure.
but
that's
I
all.
think they just had to, from where they're sitting, I think perhaps that they had to make sure and ensure that this would be something feasible that could be done. It's sort of unprecedented to have service shared. It was a test run. It was exploring the possibility. Once it was up and running, it seemed to work. Then they wanted to proceed further and solidify the possibility. And Tom Lennon said that we were going to explore other opportunities for sharing if that becomes a cost-effective measure in the future. So just on their behalf, I don't think it was necessarily the cart before the horse. I just think that it was just exploring the options, see if it could work, doing a little legwork before we could have the agreement in place. But that's just my opinion.
Legislator Rose.
Yeah, I would also ask for a roll call vote on this, because I have to agree with legislator Wright. It's the cart before the horse, and this is systematic of a number of things that happened along the same line. And I recognize it was in fiscal vision, but it didn't come to the legislature. And I think I should take a stand, but we never really had discussions in depth.
At the rules meeting.
Yes, we did. We had a
You
whole
might have been
presentation.
there.
But it was already in effect, as I understand, by that point. So that's what we were kind of circumvented. So I'm going to vote no. I understand the reason, and as far as shared services, we've been doing that with the highway department, with trucks, back trucks and so forth, so it's really nothing new. But this particular issue, I think, was circumvented. That's my feeling. Thank you.
Legislator Castellano.
Well, I'm going to be voting yes on this. I just think we have to look at the bottom line. It is cost effective. It is saving taxpayer dollars. It seems to be the right thing to do. Maybe it didn't come in front of us the way it should have. And going forward, let's make sure this stuff comes to the legislature in advance. But at the end of the day, we have to realize we're saving some taxpayer dollars, and that's more important than it coming. I get it, I understand what happened, but what happened, and we're saving money, so that's why I'm going to vote in favor of it.
I have to agree with Legislator Castellano. I agree that it might not have worked the way we all wanted it to work, but the ideal situation is to save money on the county level. We do live in a very small county, and what we can do to save money by consolidating services will be the best thing for the taxpayers. So I'll be voting yes on this.
Right. I'll also be voting yes. It wasn't like a tremendous expenditure, and it wasn't a lot of time spent. It was kind of an exploratory thing to see if it was going to work. And now that it's before us, we have the opportunity to say yes or no, so it's still in our hands. This is where we're going in the future, to try to share services. It's going to help the town out, and it's not going to be any great burden or expense to the county. So it makes sense to me. I mean, to put it away would be kind of foolish now that it's in place and working well. So I'll be voting yes. So I guess at this point, we'll take a roll call vote.
Legislator Advisio.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Rose.
No.
Legislator Legault. Legislator Nasrino.
Yes.
Legislator Cuccinero. Legislator Wright.
No.
Chairman Albano.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, Health, Social, Educational, Environmental Committee. Legislator Gross, will you fill in for us?
Yes, Legislators Scuchamara and LeBlanc could not be here this evening. 6C is approval of a fund transfer of foot number 15T145, Office for Senior Resources Temporary Overtime. Basically, it's a $13,212 transfer of monies, which is no physical impact, because unexpectedly personnel in the Office of Senior Resources are going to be out, one for an extended period of time, and they want to cover this through the end of the year. It would impact the Impact Nutrition Site and the Cold Spring Nutrition Site. So I think it's a wise transfer.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Protective Services Committee, Chairman Gross.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of legislators Nasarino, we go to 6D, which is the approval of a budgetary amendment, a Commissioner of Financial Legal Aid Society Indigent Legal Services. Basically, this is $152,805 transfer. The Legal Aid Society, it's money coming from the state through Protective Services to the county, and it's to help out that particular agency.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
6E, approval of grant application, Bureau of Emergency Services, a critical infrastructure grant program. This is a $50,000 grant. The overall grant was $500,000 from the Office of Emergency Services, and we in Putnam County received $50,000. It does require no matching funds, and in reading over the grant, it's important to know it does not affect hiring people. It's more in terms of equipment and what else did I read here? Basically equipment, okay, and support for training and all, but not hiring.
All in favor? Discussion?
And you'll note one recusal, my son is the Assistant Director of the Grant Operations.
Okay. 6F, approval of grant application, Bureau of Emergency Services, Technical Rescue, Urban Search and Rescue, targeted grant program. This is a grant, again, targeted for those particular areas. Response teams provide technical rescue and USAR service regionally. This grant focuses on providing support to these teams through the funding of equipment, training, planning, and exercise costs. That covers a whole bunch of things: trench rescue, confirmed space rescue, rope rescue, swift water rescue. Seems like a very interesting grant in terms of $150,000, and hopefully they'll be successful with that grant application.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And you'll note the same recusal, please.
6G, approval of confirmation appointment of Commissioner of Bureau of Emergency Services. This has to do with the Commissioner of Bureau of Emergency Services, Anthony Sutton, who was the acting Commissioner for a period of time, and we're happy to be supported that in the committee. And we've supported it privately at other meetings with him, so I'm happy to make that recommendation for 6G, and he's with us tonight.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Commissioner Sutton. Personnel Committee Chairwoman Nasarino.
Thank you, Chairman Albano. On behalf of legislators Castellano and Wright, I would like to bring forward an approval of a fund transfer to the Sheriff's Department for overtime and new personnel going to the academy. We're moving some money from various lines into the overtime line to achieve this for a sum of $45,294.
Discussion? All in favor?
The next item is approval of fund transfer for Sheriff's Department overtime. We have, just want to preface by saying we have a few fund transfers here for Sheriff's overtime. We've had some vacancies within the department. It is a long, tedious, and comprehensive process to hire people within the Sheriff's Department. We have hired some personnel now, so we're wrapping this up, but we did have to incur these costs. So I move forward with approval for 6I for a sum of $46,228.
Discussion? All in favor?
6J, approval fund transfer, Sheriff's Department corrections overtime for a sum of $20,257.
Any discussion? All in favor?
And 6K is approval of fund transfer, Sheriff's Department for corrections overtime for constant watch. And as Legislator Gross referred to, our jails serving as a facility for those with mental health issues. The constant watch has been something that has been on the rise due to that population in the jail. So this is certainly very crucial and very important that we have that constant watch, and that's for a sum of $32,295.
Discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
Next, Physical Services Committee, on behalf of myself and legislators Castellano and Wright. 6L, approval Putnam County Veterans Residence Lease Agreement Renewals. I'd like to move this forward. This is customary this time of year. Discussion? All in favor? 6M, approval conveyance of tax map 65.13-1-38 in Town of Harlem. This is a vacant piece of land, and it's being transferred to the adjacent property owner, not buildable, put it back on the tax rolls. Discussion? All in favor? 6N, approval infrastructure upgrades at Tilly Forster Farm. Discussion? All in favor? Audit and Administration, Chairman Castellano.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of legislators Gross and Nestorino, I'd like to bring forward the following. Item 6O is the approval of a fund transfer for the County Attorney's Office judgment and claims. This was tabled last month and reviewed again in rules. It's in the amount of $50,000 to cover costs that could be incurred for the remainder of 2015. I'd like to move forward.
Discussion? All in favor?
6P is the approval of a fund transfer for the Commissioner of Finance for telephone lines. As we discussed last week, we're moving some of these costs around to cover the telephone line. $75,460. I'd like to move it forward.
Any discussion? All in favor?
6Q is the approval of budgetary transfer for the Commissioner of Finance for Tilly Foster Farm. Temporary trades people, as we move forward in fixing up the farm and the property around it, we're going to need some additional help. So we're getting some temporary employees to come in, and these are union workers. They are experts in the field, and we're going to do the right thing for people of Putnam County and bringing these people to help us. I'd like to move forward.
Any discussion? All in favor?
6R is the approval of authorization of legislators to attend the September New York State Association of Counties Conference. We have a couple legislators and members of our staff here that are going to go to the conference, and it's a good opportunity to speak to other people who do the same thing we do, and hopefully bring some new ideas back to us in Putnam County. So I'd like to move it forward.
Absolutely. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. At this time of the business, I'd like to welcome Carl Rody, Director of Veterans Affairs, to speak to us regarding the traveling wall.
Motion to accept.
Motion to accept? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good evening. Sign here. Well, actually, I'll hold the sign as a prop. It's easy for me. September 24th and 27th, we're going to be bringing the traveling wall, it's called now, to Putnam County for the third time. We had it here in '96 and we had it here in 2011. This is an excellent opportunity for people to come out and spend some time with veterans, to come to the wall, to the site over at Putnam County Veterans Park. It'll arrive on the 23rd. We're going to have a motorcycle and fire truck escort bringing it in from 684 through Brewster into Carmel and out into Kent to the park. We will be setting it up on the morning of the 24th. We'll have a soft opening on the noon on the 24th where people can start visiting. At 7 o'clock that evening, we'll have our opening ceremony. It's going to be a great ceremony. We have Mary Kay Messenger, Master Sergeant from the Army Band, is going to be coming to sing the national anthem of God Bless America for us. On moving to the closing ceremony is going to be something special this year because it's leaving on the 27th, which is also Gold Star Mother's Day. So we're going to have the closing ceremony for the wall and then move right over to the Gold Star Mother's Monument for Gold Star Mother's ceremony. One of the nice things about the moving wall, and we encourage you to people to sign up, literally hundreds of people can get involved with the wall. Not necessarily with the setup, not even with the fundraising, but we're going to have 24 hours from the 24th, noon on the 24th till noon on the 27th. People can come in 15-minute blocks and read names. We're going to read the names 24/7 from the time the wall is set up till the time the wall comes down. We have 4 books that people can sit and they can stand and they can read names of those whose names appear on the wall. Everybody who does that will be given a commemorative pin. It's very moving. We didn't do it the last time. We did do it back in '96. It's a very moving thing to sit there and read those names. It has a great impact on you. It's a touching thing to do, and it's a way to get involved with veterans. We also will need volunteers to take rubbings. People will be able to take the names and actually do a rubbing and have that person's name where they can have it at home in a place of respect. We will need people to look up names to find out where the names actually are on the wall. We'll have a couple computers to do that. So there's a lot of volunteer aspects to it. It's going to be a great few days. Hope we see all the legislators there and hope we see a lot of the public. Also, I would Art Anthony, who is the Deputy Director of Veterans Service Agency. He's also the Chairman of Putnam County Joint Veterans Council. Art.
Good evening. I just want to encourage everybody. I know Roger's not going to make it. Something about a wedding in the family.
Yeah,
poor excuse. But I encourage everybody to come, not just to visit the wall, but as Carl said, to participate, reading the names. Back in '96 when it came, I was not involved in any way, shape, or form with Veterans Affairs at any level. And I heard they needed people in the middle of the night to read names. And I came down at 3 o'clock in the morning to the park, didn't know anybody, just said, let me stand here. And it's a religious experience. I had visited the wall in Washington several times, see my friends' names on the wall, but to stand there and to read the names aloud and to hear them echo off the hills, it's just an amazing thing. So I encourage you and everybody else in this, excuse me, there's no age limit. Teenagers, adolescents, senior citizens, anybody can read the name. The one thing we hear people get nervous about, well, what if I mispronounce a name? Doesn't matter, it's what's coming from the heart. So I encourage everybody to come and to tell everybody else about it. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
I know where it's starting. Will there be like viewing points for when you come in from the Village of Brewster, heading to the park? I was wondering how that motorcade would work.
The motorcade's going to come off 684 and down through the Village of Brewster, over Route 6, right through Carmel here. We encourage people to line up along the route, hold flags, wave, whatever. Depending on the weather, we expect hundreds of motorcycles. We're working with Commissioner Sutton to get all the fire departments involved. He's inviting fire departments from Westchester County to come up. We've got motorcycle clubs from Dutchess and Orange, and
I just got a call from Ulster County, they're bringing a motorcycle down.
people are coming far and wide, and the sheriff's road patrol, Captain Velati, is working with us. They're going to have the lead motorcycles. We're going to have the veterans bus there. People can also participate just in the private cars. We're just going to, the staging is at the 684 rest area. We stage at 3 o'clock. We'll be over there by 2. We're going to stage at 3 o'clock, and we'll depart at 3:30. And we will have a brief ceremony when we arrive at the park.
Well, it's not confirmed, we're gonna have a blessing of the park and the wall, and a soft opening, but we're gonna have that and the lighting of we have the...
The lighting's until the next day.
Well, the next day, the next day we're gonna light the...
But we're going to have ceremonies all along the way. We've also reached out to all of the schools, all of the high schools in the county, asking them to have their students come and read. If the bands or any of the choral groups want to participate, they can. We're encouraging them to come on Friday or Saturday. Let us know when they'd like to come in and have a performance as well. So there's going to be ongoing events as well. Thank you.
I would just like to add, yes, the wall is really, it's a very moving experience, no matter what age you are during the Vietnam conflict. And it's certainly a great idea to have it back in the southeast area in Putnam County. Kind of strange in light that Vietnam looks at the United States. We are their #1 trading partner now. We're very close, going back to what happened some 40+ years ago. So thanks for putting this thing together.
Thank you.
It's a wonderful thing for Putnam County, and thank you for the good work that you've done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Labor of love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
At this time, we have recognition of the public. Anyone? Everybody's happy. And recognition of the legislators. Anyone? Legislator Nasarino.
I just want to say tomorrow is the first day of school for most of the districts in Putnam County. I want to wish the students, faculty, and staff a successful and safe school year to all.
Yes, I hope folks next week will enjoy Labor Day and stop weeding and painting your house and enjoy yourself a little bit. And as Jeannie pointed out, school is opening, and those youngsters will be out, and the school buses will be out, so be careful.
I'd like to just congratulate the Carmel Fire Department. They just had their 100th year anniversary. They opened it in 1915, and from 21 members over the years, they've had over 300 members. I think right now they have over 100 members. They respond to emergencies and fires every year, over 300 situations that they're there for us. And they do a tremendous job. We're very proud of them, and thank you very much. And the meeting is adjourned.